Hello, hello, lovely ladies. How's everybody doing today? I'm super pumped to be here. Thank you, Miss Beautiful Jacqueline, for inviting me to chat with you in your tribe today. I'm super excited. I think I'm figuring this out here. Let me know, Jacqueline, if you could just confirm that you can actually hear me, because I've had some problems with Facebook Live in the past. So if you could just confirm that the sound is coming through, that would be awesome. I think it's about 4:30 right now, so we're about to get started. But I'm super excited to be here with you guys. Jacqueline is an incredible leader and lovely lady that I've had the pleasure of connecting with, so I'm excited to be invited to chat with you guys as well. Like Jacqueline had kind of prepared you guys, like I'm going to be here talking about the importance of developing your personal brand and how that really plays into your day-to-day life and your development and the opportunities that you're attracting into your life. So this is definitely one of my favorite topics to dive into. So I'm going to be sharing a couple of brief exercises, things that we can kind of play around with. And hopefully I will have some people on the live. Right now it's not showing that it's live. Let me play around here and just make sure. Let's see here. Okay, it does say I'm live. Ooh, it looks really bright. Okay, so like I said, we're going to try a couple of exercises that can help you kind of bring light to, your personal brand and what makes you unique. And then I really just want to kind of open it up to questions. Hopefully there will be some people on the live. But if you are just catching the replay, don't hesitate to post a comment in the thread. If you could just tag me in it to make sure that I get the notification and see it. But you're more than welcome to, send me a direct message as well. I'm always happy to answer any questions there. So if you're catching the replay and not live, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions. So as people hopefully start logging on, I'm just going to give a brief introduction. Again, my name is Kirsten Byron. I am a brand strategist and social media content manager for coaches and creatives, primarily women entrepreneurs. But I think, branding at its core is really about the self. And so whether you're an entrepreneur or a student or working for somebody else, developing a really strong personal brand is important for everybody. So, like I said, if you have more questions about me or my background or kind of getting some help in developing your brand, don't hesitate to reach out to me. But I think I'm going to go ahead and just kind of get started. Again, let me know if there's any problems with the sound or anything not coming through. So, to give you a little bit of background, my belief when it comes to branding is that investing your time and energy and really focusing on creating a spectacular personal brand is one of the most beautiful gifts that you can give yourself and your audience, those people that you are serving. Of course, your brand is something that's going to evolve over time as you grow and you experience and you develop yourself. Your brand is naturally going to evolve and change with you. So don't think or stress out feeling like, oh, I have to figure out my brand now and it's going to stay with me forever, so it better be the right one. That's not true. Like, it's something that changes all the time and it develops. And that's what's really exciting. Like, you can always rebrand yourself, as you're inspired by new things. You have new goals, new aspirations, new opportunities come into your life. Your brand will naturally evolve. So, sorry, I just lost my train of thought here. I do try and, I easily get distracted, so I try and keep notes just to stay on track so I don't ramble into another entirely different topic. So I apologize if I do that, but I'll try to stick with my notes and keep it moving here so I don't bore you guys out of your mind. But basically, I want to just kind of pinpoint some of the things that effective branding will actually do for you. So effective branding helps your audience perceive you in the way that you have chosen, which is super important, right? Because especially in a time of social media, like, people make their judgments, whether it's online, whether they're seeing you in person, whether they're hearing about you from, other people. People are very quick to make judgments, and those are the things that essentially create your personal brand, whether you like it or not. The good news is that you have so much control about how you're creating that brand. And the more focus and intention you use in choosing the activities you engage in, the language you use, the messages you're sending, the way you treat people, the energy that you have around people, those are all aspects of your brand, and those are all things that are going to create the images and the words that come to mind for the people that engage with you. So you really have that responsibility and that power to create a brand that will empower you, support you, lift you up, bring you those great opportunities and those people that you want in your life, rather than, putting you in a position of being judged negatively or people saying negative things about you just because they randomly heard, something through the grapevine or whatever it is. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. I'm just going to message Jacqueline real quick to make sure she can see this. I just want to make sure I'm not missing the recording, but I'm pretty sure it's going through. I think it is. Okay, so we'll keep going. So like I said, effective branding helps people perceive the way that you choose, the way you want people to perceive you. Your brand also communicates what people can expect from you. Your brand will help you attract the opportunities and people you desire into your life, like I mentioned. Your brand helps you effectively deliver the message that you really want to put out into the world, the things that you're passionate about, your areas of expertise, those things that make you really unique. Your brand is essentially the entire experience that people have when working with you, engaging with you, when seeing you. So it's really the complete experience and what people come to know about you and expect from you. So that's why it's so important and it's so powerful to really take control of your personal brand, and the sooner the better. So just want to see if anybody has any questions. It doesn't show me that anybody's on this live, so I'm assuming there aren't any questions, but if there are, don't hesitate to post it in the chat, but we'll just keep going. So discovering and developing your brand really truly does start on the inside. I know that a lot of people think that a brand is all about what we see on the outside, which is true in the sense that it's what is being perceived by the people around us, but it starts on the inside, because we attract externally what we put out internally. So the vision that we have of ourselves is what actually becomes our truth and is the way that we present ourselves to the world, and therefore that's what we attract into our life. So hopefully that makes sense. So it all starts on the inside, really knowing who you truly are, knowing your truth, your purpose, your desires, your passions, and being really aware of what makes you so special and unique. Because there can be a lot of people out there that have the same interests and talents and abilities that you do, but nobody shares the same story that you have. Nobody has exactly the same life that you have. So the way you're going to deliver that to your audience and to the people around you is truly unique. So you need to really honor your truth, know yourself really well in order to create a really authentic and attractive personal brand. So, when I'm working with my clients, like I have a 20-page, sorry, my phone's ringing, a 20-page brand development packet that is just full of questions that help people think about themselves in ways that they have never thought of themselves before. And that really brings them awareness to really what it is that makes them so unique and so different, and what their story is, and what they really want and what their passions are. So sometimes it really comes down to just asking yourself questions. And I know sometimes it doesn't just naturally come to your mind. That's why you have people like Jacqueline to help you kind of explore some of these incredible parts of yourself that you might not be aware of. And I did notice that she had posted, I think like every day she's sharing different exercises, and she had all of those incredible questions that help you bring awareness to your personal brand. So if you haven't yet, be sure you go through those questions, because that's, very similar to the process that I bring my clients through. So getting really clear on who you truly are is going to help you create your brand, because that is your brand. Like, that's the best part about it. Like, everybody has a brand. It's just who you are, and knowing how to put that out in a way that's really effective and powerful and helps you achieve the goals that you want to achieve. So the first question that I want you to ask yourself when it comes to your personal brand, and I want you to, these next few questions that I go through, if you can, have a pen and paper, write them down so that you can come back to them, think about them a little bit more deeply later on. But that first question I want you to really think about is, what do I want to be known for? Like, what do I really want to be known for? When people say my name, what words do I want them to say about me? How do I want people to describe me? What experience do I want people to have with me? How do I want people to feel when they're in my presence? Those are the first few things that I really want you to think about. So ask yourself, what do I want to be known for? So this can be, your skills, your abilities, your personality characteristics, and your area of expertise. So, maybe you want to go to school to be a doctor, or, a physical therapist, or whatever. Like, what is your area of expertise? Like, what are you really passionate about and that you want people to know you for and recognize you for, acknowledge you for? So identify all of those things. Then I would think about it like the next step I would like you to do is actually take some time to meditate or pray on it and ask those questions. Like, I will sit and I'll say, and this is something I repeat periodically. It's not just like a one time you have all the answers. Like I said, it's something that evolves. But ask God, what words, colors, and phrases would you use to describe me? And sit and think and meditate on it, and just, keep a pen and paper and just kind of write those, words, phrases, colors, whatever is coming to mind. Hi there, ladies. I'm finally seeing some comments. This is exciting. I'm fabulous. How are you girls? Excited to see you guys here. Again, let me know if you have any questions, but I'll just kind of keep going. So, like I said, kind of meditate on it. Close your eyes, ask what words, colors, and phrases would I use to describe myself, and write down anything that comes to mind. And then I want you to take it another step and ask your friends, ask your family. It's something that I suggest my clients do, is go and post on their Facebook wall or, other social media accounts. Ask people that know you, what words, colors, and phrases would you use to describe me? And just watch and see what comes up. What patterns are showing up? What things are people saying about you that kind of surprise you? You're like, wow, I had no idea that people thought about me this way. And just start to notice if there are any patterns or anything that's really consistent that a lot of people think about you, because that, whether you realize it or not, is the personal brand that you've already created for yourself, what people are already thinking about you. So obviously, if they're saying some wonderful, fabulous things about you, you really want to own those, acknowledge them, and be like, this is great. This is what people already think about me. So I want to play this up. I want to demonstrate this more because I like this and I want people to continue seeing this in me. And, I want to bring this out of myself even more. Then I want you to think about, what do you want people to know about you that they don't? Like, what's not coming up in this list that people are sharing with you, what they think about you? Is there anything that you can think of that you really want your audience to know about you that they don't? Any misconceptions that maybe they have. And then you want to think about, how can I influence or position myself in a way to help people see these traits, these skills, these passions about me if it's not coming to mind? Jacqueline says, I know some people who really aren't close to their family, so they don't feel like their family could give them an accurate. Totally. I totally understand that, and I agree. I think a lot of times our family has certain judgments of us that can be completely untrue. So go to people that you feel like they know you well. But I think, that's why I say, like, on Facebook or social media, maybe if you're on any athletic teams or you're in a church community or something like that, just kind of start asking people what, words, colors, and phrases come to mind. Does that help? It doesn't necessarily have to be family. Especially if you feel like you already know what they're going to say, that's not really going to be helpful for you. It'd be more just kind of getting a sense of your personal brand from an outsider's perspective. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you. What else was I going to say? Just think about if there's anything that you want people to know about you. Make a list and find ways to demonstrate to that audience. So, for example, if you're really passionate about, I've had some people that really are passionate about dog rescue, but a lot of people don't know that that's something they're passionate about. So I'm like, talk about that more, whether it be in social media or in school or wherever you're at. Talk about those experiences. Don't be afraid to share that, because you're sharing those kind of little subliminal hints and messages that help people plant that seed in your head so that they become aware that that's something that's important to you and of value to you. About to wash dishes, but I'm still... Okay, get to work, lady. No problem. So yeah, that's just kind of one exercise that I want you to try. And if you feel uncomfortable asking for people's opinion about, your current brand, that's totally okay. I've got another exercise here that can help you as well. So, any questions so far? I think there's only a couple people on, but I'll keep moving otherwise. Okay, cool. So the next exercise I'm going to do is similar. Again, I'm going to ask you to write these down, and of course you can come back to them later. But I want you to make a list of 3 to 4 individuals that you really admire. So whether it be authors, mentors, celebrities, athletes, 3 to 4 people that you really, really admire and look up to. And they should be people that you kind of want to follow in their footsteps. So maybe, people in a certain industry that you want to pursue in school, career path, something like that. So list out 3 to 4 individuals that you really admire. If anybody's on here live and wants to share who your individuals are, I would love to hear who some of them are, but if you don't feel like sharing, that's totally okay too. But I just want to give you a moment to kind of create your list. And then I want you to write down for each of those individuals, what are they known for? What is their area of expertise? What are they acknowledged for? What do they do really well? What do people come to them for, seek them out for? Like, what advice do they give? Just depending on who the person is and what they're known for. Kind of identify what that is. And then the next question would be, what personality traits, skills, or characteristics do you really admire in those individuals? Sorry, my fiance just tried calling me 3 times and messaged me on Facebook. It's like, I'm working, babe. Anyways, so what personality traits, skills, or characteristics do you really admire in these individuals? Okay, and then the next one I want you to answer is, what is something that you have that they don't have? So what makes you special? What makes you unique? What is a, experience or expertise or kind of a position that you hold that this individual doesn't? Hopefully that makes sense. I guess maybe I could give you an example. So somebody, when I'm thinking about who I really admire, one of my coaches is Lexi D'Angelo. She's the first coach that I've ever worked with. I absolutely love her, admire everything about her. She is really into spirituality, and she's also a business coach. So I love that she really blends the spiritual aspects with business development. And that is something I really admire about her. What I feel like I have that makes me unique that she doesn't is that I'm a new mom. So I am a mother and also run a business where spirituality and business coaching is really important to me. So that's something that makes me unique that could resonate with my audience in a different way from who she attracts as, a young engaged woman who doesn't have any children. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. So maybe just kind of point out, what makes you unique. So now once you've identified those people and you've answered those questions, now I want you to cross out those names that you wrote down, and I want you to write in your own, and I want you to imagine that those are all words, areas of expertise, things that people would say about you. Okay, does that make sense? So now you're going through your list, that you wrote down about these individuals and saying, no, that's me. That's not them, that's me. Like, I'm known for these things. I have these skills, these traits, these characteristics that I admire. And the reason that I have you do this is because everything that you admire in somebody else is what you actually see in yourself. It's kind of your truth. Like, we admire in others what we believe about ourselves, but what we probably haven't been able to bring out yet. Maybe we have fear, or we feel like we haven't had enough training, or we need to get to a certain level to bring that out. And that's totally okay. And, in some cases you do. You do need, experience and training and expertise to get you to a level of some of, those authors and athletes and mentors that you look up to. But the things that you see in them are things that are in you. We don't ever desire anything that's not meant for us, that God doesn't want for us. Whatever we see in others, we admire or we desire, is what we believe is possible for us too. And that's on a subconscious level. So consciously we might think, oh, I could never have that. I could never do that. I could never be recognized for that or be as good as she is, or, whatever. But the truth is, it is already in you. And the only difference between that person and you is that you haven't found a way to bring that to the surface yet, to your audience, to share that with the world. So I want you to consider that and take a look at, all of the words, phrases, those things that you use to describe the people you admire, and kind of compare that to the other list I had you make about what you want to be known for, what you want to be recognized for, and kind of what came to mind as, pieces of your personal brand. Look at those 2 different lists, and then start to find ways to really demonstrate all of those things through your actions, the activities you engage in, the content you share online. Like I said, the energy you put out, the way you treat others, the way you speak to others. These are all things that create your personal brand. Okay, so I'm hoping that this is resonating with you and this is helpful. I know when Jacqueline did the poll, she kind of asked if people want help with social media, content, messaging, color schemes. Like that's makes up part of your brand. But before you do any of that, you have to really know who you are, what you want to be known for, and kind of what all those words, phrases, like those characteristics are that are going to make up your brand, because you can't go ahead and do any of that until you really know who you are and what you want to put out there. So I hope that makes sense. I hope those are, a couple valuable exercises. I have so many exercises that I could do. So those are just a couple I wanted to share with you guys. But I was kind of hoping some more people were online just so that I could, answer some other questions. Let me just refresh to make sure I'm not missing anything. Let's see. I just, the topic of branding can be so broad that I could talk for hours on the subject, but I don't want to bore you. Let's see. Can your brand ever change? Of course, absolutely. Just like I mentioned at the beginning, like your brand is going to evolve as you evolve as a person, and that could mean 6 months from now, it could mean a year from now, it could mean 10 years from now. As your goals change, as your desires change, as the experiences you have as an individual change, your personal brand is certainly going to evolve. As soon as you start to feel a little bit disconnected to your branding, that it's time for it to change. And that doesn't have to be a scary process. You can rebrand yourself at any time. The thing is, the reason why I stress really getting to know yourself first, rather than, kind of looking on the outside or comparing yourself to others and trying to create a brand based on other things that you're seeing, is because then it's more likely that you'll feel like you have to change your brand constantly if you're always comparing yourself to others. So that's why I really stress getting to know yourself on a really personal level and your truth, because that's, authentically who you are, which is your brand. So sometimes when we're looking on the outside for validation of who we are, then we end up changing our brand all of the time because we're getting so many mixed messages and mixed ideas and inspirations. So absolutely, your brand can certainly change, but obviously you don't want to do it so often that people are like, I'm confused. I don't know who she is, what she does, what she's all about. Like, she's really inconsistent. So I think the better you know who you are, the less likely your brand's going to change, too often, I guess. So hopefully that helps. That helps? Okay, cool. What else was I saying? Other questions? I'm trying to think of, when it comes to, I'm trying to think about how to position some of my teachings for non-entrepreneurs. I think, one thing that I share with a lot of people when they're developing their personal brand is that there are so many people out there that really want and need to hear your message, that want to connect with you, that can learn from you, that can be inspired by you, that can be motivated by you. But the only way you're going to get that out there is by overcoming your fear of visibility, or your fear of being different, and playing small. So if you're scared to really put yourself out there and have your message heard, you're doing a disservice to all of the people that can really be helped. And that comes to, so many of you. I mean, we all have, you know, our pain points, like the things that we've gone through in life that have, you know, really brought us down and taught us some really strong lessons, right? Those are the things that, you know, we experience these things in our life, not because they're just meant for us, but because they're meant for other people to learn from and grow from. Like you know, I know that all of you are in this group because you are leaders, you are empowering, you are ambitious, you have a big vision, you have goals for your life, and you have a platform to do that. We all do. We all have that. And it is your responsibility to do that. You can't play small. You can't let fear prevent you from putting yourself out there and chasing your dreams, going after your passion, getting your message out there. So whenever you think about, you know, that crippling fear of what are people going to think? What are they going to say? They're going to judge me. You really got to focus, you know, on the big picture of who it's meant to serve, who that message is for, how you're going to help people. Because your why has to be bigger than your fear. So, you know, I mean, I think that's pretty clear. Like, you have to understand that the people that you have the potential of helping by sharing your story, your vulnerabilities, the things that you've been through that have been really hard, there are a lot more people that can be helped by that than the number of people who are going to judge you or roll your eyes or, you know, talk crap about you. Like, those are not the people that you're meant to serve. Those are not the people that are going to push you forward in your career, in your life. They're not going to be there to support you. And sometimes those negative messages are going to come from the people that we love the most and we care about the most, such as our family, our friends. But you have to understand that the things that people say about you are simply a reflection of their own thoughts and limitations and their own values. So when people share with you that they think you're making a bad decision or that you're not capable of achieving a goal, it's only a reflection of their own limitations. And, you know, for the most part, your family and friends, they care about you. They want what's best from you. They want to protect you. So usually they're going to tell you not to do anything that includes taking a risk or putting yourself out there, because they don't want to see you embarrass yourself or struggle or fail. But they don't know what's meant for you. They don't know, you know, your journey is not meant for everybody. It's meant for you. And you're never going to get approval from everybody. So you need to know what's most important to you and your truth so that you can move forward and feel empowered. And, you know, you have to just kind of put those negative messages behind you, no matter how hard it is, because you know that your purpose is so much greater than kind of being brought down by the people around us. So that's kind of a tangent, sorry, but it's true. You know, so really that's kind of my messaging on, you know, being vulnerable, being open and honest about your story, and, you know, really going after your goals and your dreams, no matter, you know, what messages are coming at you from the people around you. I will say, though, that, you know, our external environment is often a reflection of what's going on inside of us. So when you feel really passionate and excited about something and really confident about something, and you go to your friends, to your family, and you tell them with excitement your why and why you're doing things and why you're so excited and passionate about it, they will see that in you and hopefully be supportive of you. But if people around you sense your discomfort or your insecurity, like, they will pull that out of you. They will read that and they will use that to try and protect you, because they'll be able to sense that in you, and they'll try and keep you from doing something that makes you uncomfortable, you know, or that can bring you down. So just be aware of that too, just the way you approach, you know, friends and family if they haven't been supportive. Like, it's really about your inner confidence and your energy as well. I don't know. I feel like I could chat about social media or colors, but without any specific questions, I'm not really sure what in particular to share with you guys. I think it's been about 35 minutes, and I know I value your time. I know you're very busy, so I think we'll kind of leave it at that. And if you have any questions, again, don't hesitate to post in the comments and tag me so that I see it. Reach out to me. I do have, how does this relate to social media? In regard to what exactly? I mean, obviously, your brand on social media, whether you're on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook groups, whatever it is, like, you want to demonstrate for your audience all of those things that you indicated in the list that I had you work through. So, the personality traits, the characteristics, your area of expertise, your skills, like, you want to put that out for the world to see, because that's how they're going to judge you. That's how you're creating your brand. Do you have another question about how it relates to social media? I don't know if I'm answering your question. I mean, like, I guess I could give an example. I mean, like, if you want people to, I guess I'll kind of use me as an example. I guess some things that are, really consistent in my personal brand, and has been for a long time, even before I became a coach, is that I've always been really passionate about empowering women, and in particular women who wanted to start businesses and be an entrepreneur. Because I have been a serial entrepreneur since I was 15 years old, and I want to encourage more women to do that. I want more women to feel like they absolutely can be successful in business, that they can be financially free, that they can have time freedom, that they can truly create a life that they desire. So 80% of the content that I put online on social media is demonstrating that, whether it be through inspiring quotes that are, geared towards empowering women. I share articles that I find on websites that are attractive to, women, in particular women entrepreneurs and career-focused women. The graphics that I use are very, feminine and fierce and bold and sassy and sometimes sexy. And, for those of you that know me, like, my marketing, like, I use a lot of, like, watercolor graphics of, like, these fierce, fabulous, fashionable women. Like, I love bold, bright, beautiful colors. Like, when I'm online, I'm almost always wearing a bright color, like this bright blue shirt. Like, I've got multicolor flowers in the background. The graphics that I use are bright, bold colors. So my online presence is very consistent in that, I reuse a lot of those same things in terms of colors and content and language and kind of themes around what I'm posting, so that people come to know me as the go-to source for anybody that wants to be successful in business or wants to feel supported and empowered and feel like women can do whatever they dream of doing. Like, people know they can come to me and get that support and encouragement, because that's how I position myself on social media. Okay, that makes sense. What would you suggest to someone who wants to display their personal brand but has had a lot of negative things on their social media? Can you give me maybe an example of a lot of negative things on their social media? Do you mean like, on their own, like, feed? Like, they have a tendency to post a lot of negative things, like complaining or whining, or like negative things that they've been through? Like I said, you can kind of always rebrand and take you know, like focused intention on repositioning yourself by sharing more positive messages for your audience. Something negative they share from another page. Oh, so you're saying if somebody finds something negative on social media, they share it to their own page and then they're judged because of what they shared? I mean, you can always, you know, I always think that when it comes to negative judgment, be the first to call yourself out, because then nobody else can point fingers and laugh at you when you've acknowledged your own mistakes first. So if I were to share something that I later regretted and I'm like, you know what, this isn't who I am, this isn't in alignment with my message and my truth, I would post to social media. I would be like, you know what, I came to this conclusion the other day that the thing that I shared is not something that I support. It's not something that I believe. It was something that maybe I thought was funny, or, you know, I didn't really think about, and now that I've thought about it, I don't think that was such a good idea. Like, you know, just go out there and do it. Like, what am I trying to say? Like, set it straight for your audience. Like, don't let them come up with their own assumptions, because they will, unless you go out there and set the record straight. So if you do something online that creates a negative impression of you, set the record straight. Go online and say either, hey, this is what's been said about me online and this is how I feel about it, or I want to set the record straight, or hey, I shared something the other day and I'm feeling kind of crummy about it. Like, I think I made a mistake. Like, I just want you to know why I think it was a mistake. You know, something like that. Does that help? Like, I don't think it's ever a bad idea to be vulnerable and transparent and honest, especially when we make mistakes, because that's when people know that you're being honest and truthful and you're human. We've all done it. We've all put things, you know, out online. I went through an entire, you know, phase, like an entire summer after getting out of a 4.5 year relationship, where everything that people saw of me online was me like out at like bars, because a lot of people were taking pictures and I wasn't very intentional about sharing anything else that was going on in my life. So it just so happened that a lot of people saw a lot of pictures of Kirsten in the bars. Like, that was not the image that I wanted to send to my audience, because, you know, I didn't want people to think that I was an alcoholic, or that I only partied, or that I didn't work hard, or that I wasn't, you know, all these things that I knew to be true about myself. But because I simply let negative things go on social media, and I'm not saying, you know, going out and having a good time or whatever, that you can't share that on social media. Like, if that's who you are and what you do, that's totally fine. But be conscious of how much of the things that could be perceived as negative are overriding the more positive things about you. So just be aware of like that balance. So hopefully that's helpful. But yeah, nip it in the bud as soon as you can. If you know you've made a mistake on social media, own it. Be honest and transparent with your audience. Let them know how you feel about it, and they'll probably forget about it. So hopefully that's helpful. Any other questions you can think of? If you do have, I don't know if this would be of interest to you, but I am starting it's a recorded 5-day visibility training, kind of a challenge. It's 5 days. It's about 2.5 hours of video training that will be delivered by email over the next 5 days. It actually starts this next Monday. That's the 24th. So if that's something that interests you, just getting over your fear of being visible, putting your message out there. I talk a lot about social media, content strategy, how to build your confidence online, that kind of stuff. That training might be something that is valuable to you. Send me a message, let me know, and I will add you to that training to make sure that it gets to you in email. But if there's anything else you guys can think of, please tag me in the comments. I'd be happy to help, and hopefully I will be back another time to chat with you more on this topic, or something about developing your brand, your social media, your content strategy, anything like that. I'd be happy to chat with you guys again. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, Jacqueline. I think you are doing incredible work in this world. I'm so grateful for you and having you in my life. And you all should feel so blessed and so proud to be part of this community, and really being under Jacqueline's mentorship, because she is truly one of a kind and such a great leader. So thank you all so much. Appreciate you, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.